Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25. As today we have a battle of two 5-4 teams. The 5-4 LSU Tigers travel to Williams-Brice Stadium to face the 5-4 South Carolina Gamecocks. And a game that's essentially a pick-em between these two teams. Both similar past this season, both had high aspirations, both have the exact same record, and both want to win here. So one of these two teams will have to win, though. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content, as it will be LSU starting off with the football at their own 12-yard line, where they're led onto the field by quarterback Caleb Tracy, the redshirt sophomore, and the offense. As the first play, they hand it off up the middle. Number 22 is the redshirt freshman Sean Ware, as there's an injured Tiger on the field. It's Prince Moffitt, the left tackle. 2nd and 8, so here's Ware up the middle again. He's going to get maybe 7, and the 4-star from Donaldson, Louisiana, getting the start today in replace of Juan Biggers, who's currently hurt for the Tigers. 3rd and 1, Tracy misses his target, and that's a 3-and-out for LSU, as that'll bring out the Gamecock offense on the field, coming off an instant classic win last week on the same field against Ole Miss. They start off this drive at their own 34. Here's Wade Mann up the middle, and he will get 8 on his first carry. Man's been really the lifeblood of this offense in this season and last in his career here at South Carolina. As you can see last week, 24 carries, 96 yards. He's up over 1,000 already. And he's got his 3rd carry already today as he gets stopped after a gain of 2, but led by one of the best linebackers in the country, in Mike Hayden. 2nd and 8, now it's a pitch to Mazio Bennett, who gets maybe 2, as the senior getting some snaps on offense. 3rd and 6, Reno up the middle, climbs the pocket and takes off and run, and the drive stays alive. As South Carolina out to the 40, they hand it to Mann for the 4th time today, and he's got 8. Quick 4 for 22 for him, 12 total touchdowns on the season for the redshirt sophomores. On 2nd and 2, this one's almost intercepted. Reno's lucky it wasn't. Now 3rd down for South Carolina. They pick up the 1st on the ground, and this is textbook Gamecocks drive to begin the day, as they usually start off pretty fast on offense. I like to see the same in the second half, but at least we usually start well. Because right as I say that, there's going to be a holding call on the offense. Right tackle Josiah Thompson will back us up. So now instead it's 1st and 20 behind the 6. They set up a screen for Monty Soro, who will only get 4 on this one. Reno last game, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns in the win against Ole Miss. Here he is on 2nd and 16, and he's going down. Angel Graham, the impact defensive end, with his 4th sack of the season. Now South Carolina faces 3rd and 26. Reno just dumps it short for Soro, who outruns the defense and picks up 19. That's a big 19, because it puts South Carolina in field goal range. Now a 42-yard try from right hash for Marquise Atogwe, and he will drill it. And South Carolina's on the board first as they lead 3-0. Second drive for LSU starts at their own 13-yard line as they go play fake. Tracy, eyes downfield, now looking to run, but he's going to run in right into a sack. That is the former LSU Tiger, Greg Bodden, getting a sack against his former team. Now 3rd and 12, this one incomplete, knocked down for Sonny Gallen. It's a 3-and-out for LSU. And South Carolina back with the football, starting this drive in good position. But unfortunately, they go backwards. There's a tackle for a loss from Oscar Whiteside, the former 5-star from New Orleans. 2nd and 11, Reno rolls right, fires deep. He's got Bennett down to the 10-yard line. Mazio Bennett, the return man, now in his senior season, getting some chances to show himself as a receiver. As on the next play, he gets another catch here, and he picks up 6, makes it 2nd and 4. Spreading out the defense, here's a screen for Allgaier, but it's read perfectly by Mike Hayden. Now it's a 3rd and 4. Reno to throw, looks short, he's got Bennett for a touchdown. This was the Mazio Bennett drive as he gets in there for 6, and now South Carolina leads 10-0 with about 3.5 to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 10 now here for LSU as their offense continues to struggle to move the football today. Looking short here, but this one's broken up by a hard hit from Nate Lamb. 3rd and 10, it's a bootleg. Tracy now to his right. Only one man on this side of the field, so he tucks it and runs, and he's not going to get a first down. That'll end this quarter. LSU's offense has been non-existent today. No passing yards, only 15 rushing, as the Gamecocks lead 10-0, and they currently do have the football at the 31 of LSU. 1st and 10, here's Monty Soro. Wade Man a little banged up, so we'll see some more Soro in this quarter. 2nd and 9, no play fake, and you got to be careful. Reno gets rocked here. This LSU pass rush is really lethal, as you can see there. 3rd and 14, just a screen to get some of that yardage back, and again, they'll set up Otogwe for the field goal, and they take a 13-0 lead. LSU, next drive from their own 13, and here's the first completion of the day, and it's a big one. 47 down the seam to Michael Turner, the redshirt senior. And finally, Tracy's on the board with a completion. Next play, this will be his second completion. Unfortunately, though, it will not count, as there will be a holding call against the tight end Trey'Dez Green, the redshirt senior. Instead, they'll back him up 1st and 20. Tracy back to the air as he looks left side. Nice curl route. Run nicely by the impact wide receiver Kylan Billett. Now 3rd and 7, and then going down is Tracy. Nate Lamb gets on the board with a sack, and that'll end this LSU drive. Again, no points. So the Gamecocks with a real chance to make a statement here. There's Mike Hayden again in the backfield. Hayden's probably going to be a top 3 pick in the NFL this year. That's how good he is. 3rd and 5, Reno rolls to his right, wants the deep ball for Beckett, who has it on the money, but he drops it. We know Beckett's hands are not the strongest, and again it shows there as South Carolina punts, but on the next drive, it's another sack for South Carolina. Nate Lamb there to bring him down. Now 3rd and 15, and again sacked is Tracy. Obenwuka, of course, has to join the party, and South Carolina's on a sack parade. Another punt from LSU gives the Gamecocks a football back with pretty good field position. After a 5-yard run from Sora, here's a run by Tobias Stout, the freshman, getting the carries with Wade Mann on the sideline. We get Stout involved from right here in South Carolina. 3rd and 2, a quick pass to Martino, last week's hero, and he's got a first. Reno been very efficient today, 11 for 13 with a touchdown. He's got him out to the 25 now. Nice crease for Soro. Good blocking on that left side by Artie Big Hill and John Roundtree to spring him. Now inside the red zone, Soro up the middle. Zandamela moving him out the way. And Soro's got 7 for 39. 2nd and 4 now from the 7. Reno changes some things up. Looks short. He's got McNitt, and he'll only get 1. Now a big 3rd down. Reno to throw for it. Rolls to his right. Nobody open. Just running for his life. Just barely gets rid of it. Lives for the field goal, and it's 16-0 here at the 2-minute warning. LSU with the football 3rd and inches, and a big-time 3rd and inches throw out wide to Billett to get the first. LSU now goes no huddle off the 1st down. They throw it short for the tight end Green, who gets 7. And LSU continues to try to hold on to all 3 timeouts. 2nd and 3, Tracy Long's got a man wide open. Jake Selleck goes to the house. Big play for LSU, ends up with 6. It's 48 yards for Jake Selleck, his 11th touchdown of the season. 32 in his LSU career, and he's got them on the board now 16-7. As the Gamecocks have about 1:20 to potentially go down the field. They start with a 6-yard completion. 2nd and 4, Reno steps up, tries to run, but it gets spun down. That was, I think, Angel Graham again. Makes it now 3rd and 5. Gamecocks playing the clock as they'll run it down, but they throw it short for Martino as the 1st down. Now South Carolina with the first will call their first timeout. 35 seconds left to go. Reno in the pocket, steps up, tries to escape, but he gets brought down. They give him a gain of 2 before he's brought down, but South Carolina has to use timeout number 2. 2nd and 8, Vernon Ryder, the redshirt sophomore, crosses midfield out to the 46. South Carolina will hold on to that final timeout. They hurry back to the line, and on the next play, almost the exact same play, but this time Ryder only gets 9. 13 seconds, South Carolina will not use that last timeout. The clock ticks. 5 seconds left to go. Short pass for Beckett, who gets a 1st down. The Gamecocks will call a timeout, set up with 3 seconds left. They'll bring out the field goal unit. Otogwe will hit from 46 with a nice bomb to give the Gamecocks a 19-7 lead going into the half. South Carolina looks good thus far. They've been able to stifle LSU. Passing game's getting going for the Tigers, but the run game has not. -1 yards for them. They are averaging more plays. The big plays starting to show for LSU. We know that's been South Carolina's weakness, but we'll see if they can hold on here in the second half, up by 12, starting off with the football, as Reno already running for his life. LSU's pass rush has been very good today, and we've seen it thus far. 2nd and 10, trying to screen. That's a dangerous pass, read to perfection by Brian Benavidez. And now instead it's 3rd and 12. Reno, pressure in his face. All 4 LSU Tigers in the backfield. And that's not a recipe for success. Raekwon Livings brings him down. South Carolina will punt as here comes LSU starting off in good field position to begin their second half as Sean Ware gets 2 on the ground. Only his 4th carry of the day. 2nd and 8. A bubble screen out wide for Selleck, who gets 5. Makes it now 3rd and 3, but it looks like we're going to give him a free first down. Vincent Douglas again falls for the hard count. We've seen South Carolina struggle with this recently as we gift LSU a first down. Out to the 34, man in motion. They throw it short. Nice grab for Turner as he gets inside the red zone down at the 19. We go back to a play fake. Is throwing for the end zone, but this one's knocked away by Gallen. Good defense to not fall for that one. Tracy's only 9 for 15, but he's up over 150 yards. 2nd and 10, swing pass, but great defense by the Gamecocks. Nate Lamb's had a good day, and there's Kelvin Hunter getting involved. Rarely say his name. 3rd and 13 now. Tracy is sacked. It's Nate Lamb again for his 2nd half of the day. That'll set up a 43-yard try for kicker Shamir Hendricks, and he doesn't curve it enough. LSU comes up empty. So 19-7 is still your score as Gamecocks take over their own 25. There's a handoff to Mann, who will get 5 yards to begin this drive. Motions out on 2nd and 5. How about a swing past him? But it's read all over, of course, by Mike Hayden. Just improving his draft stock here today. This is now 3rd and 6, trying to set up a screen, but it's read to perfection by the defense, Darren Ojabo, and that'll be a punt for the Gamecocks as LSU will at least get the football back. Still down by 12 as there's a 1-yard carry for Sean Ware. 3rd and 6 now. This one's short, but it's tipped and incomplete, and both defenses came to play here today. 5.5 to go in the 3rd quarter as here's another loss for Mike Hayden. 4 TFLs now for the senior linebacker. 3rd and 12 for the Gamecocks. Here comes the pressure. Reno with no time to throw. Just has to dump it to the sidelines and out of bounds. That'll actually bring the end of the 3rd quarter. A pretty defensive-heavy frame as it's 19-7 here, still in favor of South Carolina. Here's a look at the college football rankings. Currently, as we begin the 4th quarter, though, the LSU Tigers at the 27 of South Carolina. 1st and 10. Tracy looks deep, and he's got his man for a touchdown. Well, that was quick. Michael Turner behind the defense for his 4th touchdown of the season. And just like that, it's 19-14. LSU within 5. Next drive for the Gamecocks, 2nd and 10. Gets maybe 3, and now it's a 3rd and 7. Reno in the offense on the back foot here as he rolls out. Dumps this one short for Mann, who will not get the first. Are you kidding me? Look at that football. First down is the 30-yard line. He's clearly across. Instead, it's going to be Mark Shy, and that's a big missed call, in my opinion, in favor of the Tigers. Next drive, they get a first down, but it's an eligible man downfield, as that one was a delayed pass, allowing Byron Heaney to get upfield. Now 3rd and 13 for the Tigers. Here comes Caleb Tracy to throw as he looks deep, and this one is incomplete. Kaufman breaks it up, and at least he forced a punt. 10 minutes to go now, 1st and 10. Reno looks short, and Biquette is broken up pass. Of course, it was Mike Hayden. 2nd and 10 now. Reno with no time to throw. Hit as he throws and actually intercepted. A big man pick. Darren Ojabo gets it. Interception again for Reno. I don't blame him for that one. The offensive line has to block for him at least. And LSU set up in our territory. Now, thankfully for us, they go backwards, 3rd and 15, but a strike down the seam moves the chains and puts LSU in the red zone, and you got to be careful. Down by 5, but a chance to take the lead here. 1st and 10. Tracy looks short, has his tight end, and he's going to maybe get 7. So makes the 2nd and 3 off the 4th catch of the day for Trey'Dez Green. They hand this one off for Ware, and he's not going to get there, as that rhymed. And a big 3rd and 2. Tight formation here for the Tigers. Tracy to throw. He rolls to his left. He's going to fire for the back of the end zone. This one tipped and caught for a touchdown. What is this sequence of events? A missed 4th down call, a big man pick off of a just bad pass, and now a tip touchdown for the Tigers. They now lead 20-19 as the 2-point conversion try is no good, and we're on the back foot here with 6.5 to go. 2nd and 8, Reno sacked again. The 5th sack of the day. It's Darren Ojabo, who's lived in the backfield in the 2nd half. 3rd and 17, how about another blitz that's incomplete? Reno just keeps getting hammered back there, and we can't afford to keep punting. 1st and 10 here. This is a deep ball, and it's caught. Jake Selleck with it, and everything that's going wrong for the Gamecocks right now is going wrong. So now at the 28, here is a pass rush as Caleb Tracy just dumps this one to the sidelines. 2nd and 10 now in the pistol. Handoff for Ware right side. One of his better runs as he picks up 8. Makes it a much more manageable 3rd and 2. That was his best run of the day. Offset pistol and a big down here. It's a keeper from Tracy. He pitches it back, and he's not going to get there. DVD hurt on the play, but this is going to force a field. I'll set up a 36-yard try from left half this time for Shamir Hendricks. And he misses this one too. Doesn't push it enough this time, and it stays a 1-point game. That could be a big difference maker. Field goal will now take the lead for South Carolina as they start this drive, though, going backwards. Mike Hayden again in the backfield. Now 3rd and 3. Man up the middle, doesn't get it, and South Carolina will punt it away again. At the 2-minute warning now, South Carolina running out of time, but it's 3rd and 12. You could really use a stop here. LSU will run it, so they will just cede the possession for South Carolina to use a timeout. So they'll have one more to go with about 2 minutes to play and a chance to go win the game. And this is a terrible punt. Rodney just absolutely shanks it. That goes maybe 15 yards. And South Carolina starts off at their own 43. 1st and 10 short for Beckett, and he will cross the midfield mark. And South Carolina getting close to field goal range here. 100 seconds to go. Reno looks, has Beckett again in the 2nd level, and he's 15 yards downfield to the 27. South Carolina now in fringe field goal range. They're going to start to run the football a little bit, force LSU to run some timeouts now. For the first timeout, 2nd and 8. Soro will burn the 2nd. Now 3rd and 6. What will South Carolina do? They're going to run it. They're going to throw it. They run it with Soro as he goes and burns the last LSU timeout, which will set up a field goal try here for South Carolina. 37 yards from the left side. Marquise Otogwe, and the kick is up, and it is good, and South Carolina has regained the lead. 22-20 now your score, but it's up to the defense to hold the LSU offense. We've seen this story a couple times this year. Defense has not been able to up to the task, but right here LSU almost takes a safety. Luckily that was thrown away. 2nd and 10 now from their own 12 with 53 seconds. Tracy to throw. 4-man rush. He throws it deep downfield, and this one is tipped. Almost intercepted, but it's incomplete. 3rd and 10 now with 47 seconds. Tracy to throw. Man in his face. Looks short, has his tight end, but he's 2 yards shy, and it's a big 4th down. LSU with no timeouts. They got to hurry up. This is for the game right here. You got to take the first, and the clock is still ticking. 32 seconds now before they hike it. Tracy looks short, has his tight end for a first. It momentarily stops the clock. But until the ball is respot, which it is, the clock will now continue to run. And LSU will spike it with 25 seconds left to go. They just need a field goal to win the game. 2nd and 10, Tracy steps up, has some space, but just dumps it to the sideline. He doesn't want the clock to continue to run. You keep this one in bounds with all the receivers downfield, it might be over. 3rd and 10, Tracy again does the same thing, and now you're looking at a 4th and 10 for LSU. 14 seconds, again, game on the line. Spread offense here, and South Carolina will burn their last timeout. They don't like the look. So we reset. 4th and 10, Tracy looks, has his tight end for a first down off the fingertips across the 50, but the clock is continuing to run. Only 8 seconds left to go. Ball has been respotted, so it'll continue to run, and they won't spike it until 4 seconds. So you can no longer go for the field goal. You got to go for the Hail Mary here. 4 seconds. This will probably be the last play of the game. Tracy takes a snap. Everybody goes deep. Only a 3-man rush. He bombs it deep to the end zone, and this one's intercepted in the end zone by Kike Adams, the safety, and that will do it. South Carolina, for the 2nd week in a row, wins in a nail-biter. 22-20 your score. And for the 2nd straight week, Reno leads a game-winning drive. And we now prove to 6-4 on the season, 4-3 in the SEC. And it has definitely been exciting. Reno gets player of the game. His numbers don't look that impressive, but you got to keep in mind, he did lead the game-winning drive at the end and had faced pressure all day long from the LSU offense, or from the LSU defense, rather. And we get the victory. Again, we blew a lead in the 4th quarter, as we'd like to turn that around, but we at least gain it back and win, and move to 6-4 on the season. So, it wasn't the best start to the year, but at least we're winning some couple of games here. And this was a toss-up game. LSU was a good squad despite their records. They fall to 5-5, but it's a nice win nonetheless for South Carolina. Here are your top stories coming out of the week. Notre Dame has the Heisman at the top again with 3 players. My goodness. Notre Dame, the number 1 team in the country, knocks out Kent State 42-3 this week. And then we see Auburn knock off Georgia. Number 1 goes down. Auburn gets the victory. And then Florida upsets Tennessee. Florida finally on the board. I can't even speak. That's such an upset. Here are your games of the week. Missouri knocks off Texas A&M. We'll see Mizzou next week. Tulsa with a 18th ranked spot with a victory over South Florida. Oklahoma on Thursday beats Alabama, and Louisville beats Boston College. On to Saturday, Coastal knocks off Georgia Southern by a touchdown. We saw the game of the week. Auburn goes into Athens and wins 34-31 in a classic. Northern Illinois, the Mountain West victory over New Mexico. Bowling Green knocks off Western Michigan. Central Michigan over Ball State. Also in the MAC, we see Temple enter the rankings with a victory on the road against UTSA. Colorado now up to number 14 with a victory against Cincinnati. Washington bounces back with the Big Ten with a win over UCLA. Florida State loses to Cal, who are up to number 19 now. Clemson back in the win column. They beat Stanford and also back in the rankings. USC with another loss at home, this time to Nebraska. Tough season for the Trojans. Arkansas State bounces back, gets back in the ranks with a victory over Southern Miss. Sam Houston over Middle Tennessee State. North Carolina knocks off James Madison. TCU beats the rivals in Baylor 31-26. In the Sun Belt, Louisiana Monroe with a nice road victory over Texas State. Boise State slaughters Fresno State 45-7. Syracuse now up to number 13 with a victory over Wake Forest. Look out for the Orange. Iowa State over Houston in the Big 12. Marshall over ODU in the Sun Belt. And then Indiana knocks off Northwestern, and they're up to number 11. UAB 35-14 over Rice. And then we see Virginia Tech beat SMU by a touchdown. Virginia beats Georgia Tech also in the ACC. And then Kentucky knocks off Ole Miss in the SEC. Minnesota knocks off Maryland 24-3. We see UTEP beat Nevada. UNLV also beats Buffalo in a non-conference matchup. And then Utah State in the Pac-12 beats San Diego State. And then Florida gets their first win of the season. They beat Tennessee, crushing the dreams of the Volunteers in that rivalry. Toledo, the top team in the MAC. They beat UMass this week. And then Western Kentucky loses to New Mexico State. The Hilltoppers take a huge loss at home and might have crushed their playoff chances. Michigan loses by a point to their rivals in Michigan State at home. Not a good look for the Wolverines. Oregon State puts up 48. Look out for the Beavers. They're still undefeated. Tulane over Memphis in the AAC. And then we see San Jose State beat Hawaii by a point. Louisiana knocks off South Alabama. And the Navy beats Charlotte 13-7. NC State up to number 5 now, but they survive a scare against Duke by a point. Utah beats the rivals in the BYU 21-14. The Utes crack the top 10. Arkansas now up to number 2 with a victory against Mississippi State. The Razorbacks undefeated. Oklahoma State over the rivals Texas Tech this week. And then Vanderbilt beats Texas, and the Commodores are now bowl eligible. Good season for them. Kansas puts up 49 on West Virginia. They're up to number 8 now. And then Purdue beats Rutgers by a touchdown. Penn State with a nice victory over Ohio State. They're up to number 9 as Ohio State's struggle season continues. FIU over Jacksonville State on the road. We saw Notre Dame get to number 1. North Texas now leads the group of 5 teams up to rank 15. They could beat Army this week. And then Kennesaw State knocks off Liberty in the Conference USA. Central Florida over Arizona. Then finally Wisconsin gets a victory over Oregon. Here are your players of the week. Angel Graham had 3 sacks against us, but it didn't get the victory. And then Chauncey Cruz with 3 touchdowns for Bowling Green. SEC's offense was Emmanuel Darashall thanks to their win against Tennessee. Here are your rankings this week. Notre Dame now to number 1. Arkansas number 2. I think they should be number 1 considering they are undefeated. And Georgia falls to number 6 as you can take a look at the rankings. Some shakeup now. A lot of teams entering the ranks as a lot of the power or group of 5s went down. As you can see the round out here. Big games this week around the country. First, we'll look at the bracket. Here's a look at the updated bracket. All Power 4 teams now get the bye thanks to the Western Kentucky loss. And North Texas does represent the group of 5 schools. The 4 top matchups this week is we'll see Arkansas and Auburn 2 versus 3. Huge matchup this week. Colorado and Kansas in the Big 12. Number 4, Miami, the defending champs, will take on Duke, who took NC State to the limit last week. And then number 10, Utah in the Big 12 plays host to Iowa State. This week, it'll be our last conference game of the season. It's for the Mayor's Cup. We host number 25, Missouri, who are also 6-4 on the season. And despite the fact that they're ranked and we are not, I think this is definitely a winnable game for us. I think we are a more talented team. They do have a good quarterback in Aiden Glover. They do have a good wide receiver in Devon Carmichael. So we'll have to see if we can stop their offense. And if we can, I think we could definitely beat the Tigers and continue to build on a good late half of the season. I know it didn't start the way we wanted, but hopefully we can at least finish strong, as we'll host them next week in our last home game this season. So it'll also be senior night, so we'll come out in the All Blacks against Mizzou. But thank you guys so much for watching. Second week in a row that we've had an exciting end to the game. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content. If you have, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.